I, female 34, lost my husband 8 weeks ago. I'm trying to stay collected and welcoming to all the supportive family members who come to offer help. My sister is the most supportive one, although her husband sometimes acts inappropriately, especially after he told me that I'm now burden-free and can live my life, given that I was my husband's sole career. I try to let go of those comments, thinking he didn't know any better. He, my sister, and my family came to visit last week. They cooked dinner for me and kept me company for a bit. After dinner, my brother-in-law asked for a minute with me inside the kitchen. He started telling me about a coworker of his who's single, then listed everything good about him. I was confused as to why he was telling me all that. He then reached out for his pant pocket and pulled a piece of paper out with his coworker's phone number on it, telling me to give him a call sometime. I was floored. I couldn't really tell if he was joking or what, but he looked serious and kept insisting I take the number. I lost it. I started yelling at him that my husband had just died, and he was out of his mind to try to hook me up with a coworker of his. He tried to explain that it wasn't like that and offered me something helpful, but I didn't know what he meant. I called him disrespectful, then yelled at him to get out of my house. My sister and the others ran into the kitchen, not knowing what was going on. I told them, then pressured him to leave my house. But my sister asked that I calm down, but I couldn't. He left, then my sister left quietly. After I'd calmed down, I sat with my family, said I was right and that what he did was not okay. Still, I needed to keep in mind that he and my sister helped so much by cooking for me, comforting me, and doing so much for me in these difficult times, so I shouldn't have reacted like that and could have been a little more considerate and graceful. They said kicking him out was too much, and I should call him later and talk things out, ruin my relationship with him and possibly my sister. It's been days and I haven't called, and my sister hasn't visited or called, which means she's upset with me. And now I'm beginning to think they're most likely hurt because I acted ungrateful for everything they've done for me. Not the idiot. I can't tell if your brother-in-law is an actual jerk or just astoundingly lacking in empathy and social judgment. Still, either way, his actions were wildly insensitive and inappropriate, and your actions were completely understandable. You don't owe anyone an apology. What he did was outright callous. You can't call your sister and say that you appreciate everything that they've done to support you since your husband's death, but that your brother-in-law's offer was too soon and misguided, and that in your grief, your reaction was amplified. If he's willing to apologize for his lack of tact, you can apologize for the force of your reaction. You did not overreact. I think he should be the one to make the first gesture towards reconciliation, but he has proven he lacks completely in compassion and sense. So if you feel like it, this could be a way to move past this. Not the idiot. I'm autistic and know that this is a bad idea. I usually have a hard time understanding facial expressions and body language, but grief is a pretty obvious expression, and I usually don't miss it. This guy was playing a game called I'm Only Trying to Help, where he offered an unhelpful or offensive solution to a problem, or you didn't ask for help. When the help is offensive and rejected, the payoff is confusion and attention for the guy and anger for you. The easy solution is not sister's husband the attention and confusing rejection he wants. The fact that he pulled you into another room to do this, as if he alone understood you at that moment and wanted to be privately acknowledged for doing a good thing, is a huge indicator that he's being selfish and wanting praise for the gesture. The burden comment is a huge red flag. He sees the caretaking of a loved one as an interruption of his life, which should be concerning for your sister. My younger brother Sean is getting married soon. He sent out invitations that included everyone in the family. I found out that he was going by the no plus one, unless engaged or married rule. I felt confused since I've been in a long-term, 7 years now, relationship with my girlfriend, and I was counting on having her to come with me to the wedding. I asked Sean and his fiance about it and asked if they were aware they were excluding my partner with this rule, and they gave a too bad, so sad type of reaction. But I told him, all right, then he shouldn't expect me to come either. He freaked out and called Mom, who said since I'm the oldest in the family, my presence at the wedding is a must. So I told them I would attend the wedding under one condition, to have my girlfriend attend with me. Sean tried to pull the she's not official and she's not family crap on me, but I told him enough. I remained calm yet strict with my condition. Mom said my girlfriend can miss one event, no big deal, and said I shouldn't be putting conditions on my brother's wedding to force his hand like that. I said that is all I have, and left after a huge meltdown from my mom and Sean accusing me of trying to alter the wedding, disrespecting their beliefs, and pushing my own on them. Oh, and went as far as accusing me of planning to steal the event so I could propose to my girlfriend. The rest of the family got into it, yelling at me for disrupting the wedding and trying to control and bully my brother into letting me do what I wanted at his damn wedding. They said it wasn't up to me to put conditions and went on about how I should support him as his only sibling and a father figure since dad is deceased. But I think I'm trying to stand by my girlfriend in our relationship that means so much to me, but they see it as me choosing her over my brother. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I'm a big fan of a no ring, no bring rule to avoid randos, but once a couple reaches the 5-year mark, I think the spirit of the ring is implied, and it's rude to not invite them as a named +1. Your family is being awful to the woman you love. They're awful people. Thank you for sticking up for the lovely woman you chose and who chose you. Not the idiot. 7 freaking years? How long has he been with his fiance? Actually, it doesn't matter. Couples who live together are common law after less than 2 years in most places, and many couples opt not to marry. By year 7, I'd be referring to your girlfriend as sister-in-law. He's the idiot here, and he's alienating your girlfriend. Your parents should be on your side. Yes, Sean has been with his fiance for a little over 2 years. I might have been out of line with this condition, since it's not my wedding to make or change the rules, and also me threatening not to attend, knowing Sean sees me as a huge support. I still feel bad. He is invalidating your relationship, and it's an insult to you and your girlfriend. This whole culture of it's my wedding, I can be an idiot if I want, needs to get in the bin. And then to accuse you of choosing your girlfriend over your brother? The brother was the one who chose to exclude OP's partner over having him there. He set the rules for his wedding. You just complied. OP, if it were me, I'd show up at his wedding to propose and then go in as an engaged couple. But that's just me being petty. So you should probably not go to the whole affair. I, female 30, live with my husband 35 and 3 children. I work as a freelance artist from home, and my husband works long hours driving. As a result, I do most housework and look after our 3 children. When he's off work and home, he takes on his fair share. Our lives mean that we don't have much free time. I enjoy cooking, and as a mom, I make sure to give my children a wide variety of foods to eat. I want them to appreciate different cultures, flavors, and different types of cuisine from all around the world, and to grow up kind and respectful of others. So a few days a week, 3 out of 7 of my children and I cook together and make a recipe from another country. We all enjoy this, and it gives a perfect segue into learning about a foreign country. On the other hand, my husband has a more plain palate and prefers simpler English dishes that he grew up with, such as pies, fish and chips, roast dinners, etc. We eat plenty of meals like this too. A week ago, we hired a babysitter and went to a friend's house for dinner. They cooked a beautiful vegetarian pie with mashed potatoes and vegetables. My husband turned to them and said, "Oh God, finally, a decent meal for once. OP is always cooking these awful smelly dishes." Hurt, I looked at my husband and asked him what he meant, and he said that he only puts up with it because he doesn't have time to cook something decent for himself. The meal was a little awkward after that, but neither of us brought it up again while there until we came home. I told him that I wouldn't stop cooking foreign food with the kids, and if he didn't like it, he would have to cook something himself. He once again said that he didn't have time for that, and I should just cook him something he likes at the same time, which I refused to do, mainly because when he comes home after work, he spends all his time up until bedtime gaming. This is around 4 hours of time after he comes in, so he has plenty of time to cook a quick but decent meal for himself and enjoy his hobby. Once again this week, I cooked with my kids, And like I told my husband, I didn't leave him any. He was angry but ordered takeout. He went around to his parents' house the second time, and his mom cooked for him. The next day, I got a phone call from my mother-in-law saying I was an idiot for not cooking for my husband and that I spent all day doing my hobby, my actual job. And why shouldn't he enjoy his hobby? Which again, he still can and does do. I also still cook for him when I'm not cooking anything foreign. Am I the idiot for refusing to cook for him on these days? Edit. Bills are 50-50, as yes, as an artist, I do make enough to support my family. My husband isn't the sole breadwinner. Not the idiot. He was an absolute idiot for making that comment in front of company and for his wording. He didn't want smelly food? Well, you did as he asked and didn't leave him a share, so he wouldn't be forced to eat it. No matter how little time one has, everyone has 5 minutes to do an omelet. Cut some mozzarella and some tomatoes on the side. Sprinkle salt, basil, and oil, and boom, food. If he doesn't want to do that, and he has to run to mommy to feed him, then there are way larger issues than his childish palate. Maybe mozzarella and basil are too exotic for his fragile palate. Your husband is an adult and more than capable of cooking for himself. If he has time for gaming, then he can find time to cook himself a decent meal. Also, I'm so fed up with adult men running to their moms when they have any problem with their spouses. Why do they even marry? They should stay with their mothers forever and be their mama's boy. Also, if he's gaming 4 hours a night, then how is he doing his fair share of parenting when he's home? He sounds selfish, rude, and entitled. Let's just say it. Most women are conditioned to think a man doing anything except moving and pumping gas is extra. She's married to someone who didn't hesitate to ask her to cook 2 dinners, so there's no doubt in my mind that they have such a dynamic. Those special meals with their kids are her way of making sure that the kids don't end up like husband. Instead, they'll grow up to be much more adventurous and respectful. OP, your husband and your mother-in-law are horrible people. Sorry that you have to put up with their bratty selves. My sister-in-law is 2 months pregnant, and she's due a week after my wedding date. We've saved the date and booked every venue about it since May last year. These days, booking a wedding can be really hard since everyone is rescheduling after 2 years of constant postponements. My sister-in-law announced that she was 2 months pregnant last week. She also set her due date. We congratulated her and we were really excited. After a few days, yesterday we met with her again, and she said she wanted to sit my husband and me down and discuss the cancellation or postponement of our wedding because of her due date. We were shocked and surprised, since we never discussed or even implied the wedding would be postponed. We kindly told her that we wouldn't cancel the wedding, and we won't be mad if she won't be able to make it because her due date would be close. She said she wouldn't accept not attending her brother's wedding, so we have to make it work and look for another date. We explained we can't do it right now since every other date will be booked, and if we cancel or postpone, the next wedding date available is a half year later. She said, fine, so be it. We should book it for then. My fiance and I clearly cannot and will not postpone. We've already prepaid some aspects of our vendors, and we won't get all of our money back if we cancel. Also, I'm going to be honest, we don't want to cancel or postpone either. The wedding has been booked for so long. We've almost finished all preparations for it, so we'll have the last few months before the wedding more relaxing and chill. Also, my sister-in-law doesn't have an active role in the wedding. She's the groom's sister, but she has no duties she'll have to carry out. She can attend and sit in a chair and feel more comfortable and leave whenever she gets tired. She can also choose not to attend if she doesn't feel comfortable. Even if she had duties, I'd find it perfectly reasonable for her to back out. My in-laws have all gotten involved now, and they're trying to pressure us to postpone the wedding because if we don't, my sister-in-law will probably not attend, and she thinks it's unfair not to be present at her brother's wedding. My fiance and I have not changed our minds, but my sister-in-law claims we're very selfish for not thinking about her feelings too and changing the date. Am I the idiot for not postponing or canceling the wedding? Haha, I'd have said, well, sister-in-law, why didn't you consider our wedding date when you conceived the baby? Is any of the family who's pressuring you going to pay the cancellation fees to move a wedding to another day? I doubt it. You're not the idiot. Wedding is booked. I hope you both have a lovely day. Remember, it's your special day, no one else's. But holy heck, why is everyone enabling sister-in-law? That seems like an issue all on its own. It sucks she won't be able to attend, but these things happen, and she'll just have to accept it. Maybe someone can live stream it for her, if it's essential to keep the peace, perhaps. One of my groomsmen ended up hospitalized the day of our wedding back in September. His wife was a bridesmaid, and of course she had to be by his side. It was really easy to get a phone stand, set up a Zoom link, and have someone else press play, and they managed to be a part of our day even when they couldn't physically attend. It's so easy these days. Yes, this is exactly what Zoom is for. There's a reason she dared to shame OP for not canceling her wedding for her sake, and that the parents thought this was a reasonable suggestion. I mean, seriously, I would be embarrassed ever to assume anyone would postpone an entire wedding just for me. So in other words, this isn't really about the importance of sister-in-law attending your wedding, as much as it's about sister-in-law wanting all of the attention for herself. Since last year, I, 30 male, and my fiance, 32 female, have been searching for a new apartment. My fiance wants to be closer to her family and hates the commute from the apartment. Another issue is no animals are allowed. My brother, 34, passed away in November 2021, and we adopted his dog, Doug. Doug is a 4-year-old husky mix and a very well-behaved dog. My brother and I were very close, and I promised to care for Doug if anything ever happened. My fiance found an apartment close to her family and was close to our jobs. The rent was a little cheaper and had more room. The issue I have with it is that only animals under 40 pounds are welcome. Doug is heavier than 40 pounds, and I'm not looking to rehome him. My fiance scheduled a tour of the apartment and had her parents meet us there. When the tour was finished, my fiance and her parents talked about the apartment and when we plan to move in. I told them that I wanted to keep looking and find a place that does not restrict animals. I added in that rehoming Doug was not an option. My fiance did not take my response well and got angry that I would give up a nice apartment for an animal. Her parents think I'm being unreasonable and should look at rehoming options. Am I the idiot for choosing my dog over an apartment? Not the idiot. If someone suggested I rehome any of my cats, I would suggest they rehome themselves. Your fiance's behavior means she does not care about your wishes, like keeping your damn dog, and she's trying to turn it around, making you look like the selfish one. Are you sure she isn't using this apartment issue to get you to abandon your dog? Also, if you're engaged, it should be our dog. There are other apartments out there, but only one Doug.